Welcome to Financial Focus, brought to you by GulfCoast Financial Services founder and CEO, John Kuykendall. John and his team of financial, legal, and tax professionals have been providing North Florida savers and investors sound, comprehensive financial guidance for over 30 years, helping you to achieve important life and planning goals. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net.
And welcome into the program. This is Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, as named by the readers of the Lake City Reporter, 7 years and running, serving North Central Florida savers and investors for more than 30 years. The team from GulfCoast Financial Services, founder and CEO John Kuykendall here with us, as always, providing important guidance and perspective on the financial world and what you should be doing with your money in order to make that important financial progress. John, I think that now more than ever, people are looking for reliable sources for information, and that can be a little difficult because oftentimes we find very conflicting information if we are looking out there in the world. So it's great to have you back providing that guidance and perspective to help us navigate that.
Well, thank you, Peter. Yeah, it's really interesting at this point in time. You're hearing all types of different, naysayers and also toothsayers saying that, the market's going to crash, we're going into recession. And then you got other people saying, that it's not, this is just a dip and we need the dips. And so it's hard for anyone to listen to what's going on in the media and try to get an objective assessment of what they need to do. Everybody's out for their 5 minutes of fame. And I think if people understood that, it's kind of like the media, the news media. Our preacher in church yesterday, or Sunday, said, hey, I don't know if you listen to the news, but this is what's going on. And I thought to myself, I'm happy because I really don't listen to the news.
I think we all would be happier if that was the case.
It doesn't interest me. The days of Walter Cronkite, when he could get on TV and you could listen to him and you knew that he was telling you what Fox News says now is fair and balanced. You could believe him. But nowadays it's geared towards ratings and how much I can get from my commercials and whether I'm going to keep my job. Nothing to do with the news whatsoever. Whole different environment, different time.
Yeah. Well, I've always heard that if there is no product, you are the product. And we have to realize that with media, that is the case. We are, in fact, the product. So they need to keep our attention. They need to keep us viewing and watching and listening and reading so that they can sell those ads. And therefore, John, the news headlines and the stories they cover are more sensational, maybe more divisive, more polarizing, but that is what gets the ratings. That is what gets people to stick around. And therefore, using common sense, we've got to filter that. We've got to take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt there. If we're looking for real, true information, it's something that we've sort of got to take our own time and research everything we hear a little further these days.
Yeah, we can't believe everything we hear. We've got to do our own research. We've got to talk to our financial advisors, to listen to the economists who are speaking from what they see the market's doing, not from what will get me the headlines if I say that the market's crashing. And, the slim chance that I'm right, then I can become a guru forever because I timed that market. I get 100 emails a day, every day, from somebody telling me how I can make, $20,000 tonight. Mm-hmm. And if it was that easy, they wouldn't be sending me the email.
Yeah, there are so many conflicts like that. There are just so many, John. I wonder if that talking head on TV who's saying that the market is going to crash has sold out of all of their positions. Just like I wonder with all of these people saying that the currency is going to collapse, so buy my gold. Well, if they're so convinced that the currency is going to collapse, why in the world would they sell me their gold and take my dollars? The financial world seems to be full of those self-conflicting kind of statements. And another one is, how do they even know the future? No one knows the future. The very statement made with any investment is that past performance is no guarantee of future results.
Well, we know that it moves in cycles. We just don't know when it's going to be in a cycle and when it's going to be out of a cycle. But we know that over a period of time, the market will go up, the market will go down. But we don't have a clue. If we knew that, then we wouldn't be talking today. We would be out on our yacht somewhere and enjoying the sunshine, because we wouldn't need to be here. I think that what people have to understand is that because of the media situation the way it is today, the instantaneous news, the internet, Facebook, all the stuff that we have, all the emails, how they get your email address, I don't know, but all the blanket emails, that stuff is just hype. It's hype. When my dear friend from third grade calls me and tells me that the president's going to take away his retirement account, I have to assure him that they're not going to do that. It's against the law. Our retirement accounts are protected. But somehow they read this stuff and they believe that it's true. We can't look at the past. We can't look at the future. We have to stand by certain principles and hold true to what we're doing. And it's amazing to me that people bite on this stuff. I'm constantly amazed at the emails I get from my clients and prospects, wondering if this is going to happen or that's going to happen. And it doesn't have anything to do with the market.
Well, I think the very fact that we do bite for that stuff or fall into believing those kind of, insidious kind of headlines or, those that draw the attention speaks to how difficult it is to find solid, good advice that we can believe in and depend on. And there are, I think, reasons for that. There's other places, John, in the financial world where there is self-conflicting kind of information and guidance. For instance, in the banking world, the banks love to tell you to save money, save as much money as you can, save money and deposit it with our bank. Checking, savings, money market, CD account. We've got options for you to save your money. But behind the scenes, the bank is not following their own advice. I mean, we'd love to think that when we make a deposit, that money goes back into a locker room safe and sits there for when we need it. But that's a liability for the bank. They're not in the business of taking on liabilities. They're in the business of making money and creating assets. They want to get that money back out as quick as they can.
Well, that's right. And the way they get it out is through loans and also buying investments, because they all have an investment portfolio. They have a loan portfolio. And if you analyzed a bank statement, you'll find that between 75 and 90% of those deposits are actually out in loans. And if it's less than that, then the bank probably is not making money, because what they do is they take the money that we give them, they loan it out and they arbitrage the interest rate. So if I'm paying you 2 and I can get 6, I've got 4 profit that I can use to pay my expenses. And so that's the way the bank does that. Certainly they want you to bring your money in. They want you to keep it. Having been a banker for 20 years, I can understand how banks work. I know that I had to have those deposits in order to make my bank profitable. If I didn't have those deposits, then I couldn't be profitable. And so I'm going to tell you to put it here. Back in the old days, Peter, I hate to say this, but interest rates were somewhat regulated. And so the government came out with a 6-month CD, and we would pay and it was a fixed rate, but we would give them like a $25 bonus plus the interest rate, and people would drive 100 miles to get that $25. But the thing was that when those CDs matured, we hoped they matured at a lower rate so we could make more money. And if it wasn't a government CD, but it was a CD, like a 1-year CD, we would come up with a 13-month CD so we didn't have to pay as much on those 12-month renewing CDs. So you have to really understand that the bank's not there to help you save money. They're there to make money. And you need to do the best job you can with what you've got. We should save. There's no doubt that our savings rate's lower than any place in the world, and we should save. And I know things are costing more, but Americans have been pampered for a long time. We've paid less for food per capita income than any country in the world. We've paid less for gas than any country. And so now we're kind of catching up, and we're having to pay more, and it's hurting. But you still got to put that money aside and save it.
Well, again, I think, John, just that inherent conflict of do as I say, not as I do, is one of the reasons why it is so difficult for us as individuals to find and rely on solid advice. We want to have somebody that sort of practice what they preach and follows their own advice, and then we can put a little bit more faith. But that is so behind the curtain, behind the scenes, with those kind of inherent conflicts, that it is hard, and therefore we're out there searching and may believe some of those sensational headlines. Again, another example of that, John, buy and hold, right? We hear that all the time. Mutual fund companies love you to buy and hold and just hang in for the long haul and ride any kind of event out. However, behind the scenes, if you look at what's known as the turnover ratio, meaning how much they are actually selling and transacting, oftentimes you see mutual funds with an internal turnover ratio within a year of 50%, 100%, 200% of their holdings. How does that meet in the middle when they're telling us to buy and hold, and yet internally they're doing the exact opposite?
Well, you got to remember that the manager of the mutual fund gets paid upon his performance. So, if he holds and he loses 40%, people are going to leave his mutual fund. So what he's going to do is he's trying to buy and sell as he sees the market moving or going up or down, or transitioning into other assets, other sectors of the market, while, they want us to stand pat. And, Peter, if you're 20 years old or 30 years old and you're 30 years from retirement, that's fine. You can do that. But if you're getting close to retirement or you're in retirement, that's a little hard to take when you lose 40% of your portfolio and you're still drawing 5 or 6% out, or in some cases more because you have emergencies. That doesn't equate. We know that now. We know that because of the sequence of returns, that I'm going to run out of money if I take my money out in a down market, and the more the market's down and the more I take out, the more quicker my money's not going to last. So it's contradictory to say buy and hold when they are in fact not buying and holding because they're making changes because they see the need. Why shouldn't you also see the need? On the other hand, you can't sit there and lose 40% or 30% and then all of a sudden get out of the market and stay in cash for the rest of your life, because that doesn't do you any good either. You've got to stay invested, but you've got to be able to make the changes. Don't take your statement, just throw it in the drawer. When your statement comes in on your retirement savings, open it up and look at it. It may hurt, but if it hurts, maybe you'll react. If I stick it in the drawer, all I'm doing is putting my head in the sand, and I really don't know what's going on around me.
Well, I know one of the foundational beliefs there at GulfCoast Financial Services, John, is that everyone has the ability to feel confident about their money, and everyone deserves to feel confident about their money. Anyone can, so long as they are given proper guidance, information, and education. And you're there as a resource for North Central Florida savers and investors so that they can get that kind of information and education and guidance. And I think we've just scratched the surface here in our conversation today about some of the conflicts that can arise in the financial world. What do you say, John, that we continue this conversation and have a few subsequent episodes where we talk about where more of these kind of conflicts can arise so that we can have that guidance and information, make good, well thought through and informed decisions?
Well, I think that's a great idea, Peter. I think we need to do that. I think that education is the key to everything. And the more our clients, our prospects, the people out there that listen to us can learn, I think the better they're going to be. That's one reason that next week we're sponsoring a lunch and learn with an economist, so that we can let the people that are interested come in and listen to him. We hope to record him and have him on our website so he can tell us what he thinks the market's doing and where the market's going and what we should or should not be concerned about. Education is the key to everything. It's not listening to the talking heads, as they say. You know, in a good time, you listen to your neighbor, because your neighbor always makes more money than you do. But in bad times, it gets multiplied, all the bad news and all the bad resources that come out of the woodwork.
Well, if you would like a good resource, ladies and gentlemen, for sound financial guidance, turn to the team from GulfCoast Financial Services, rated best of the best in financial services, 7 years and running by the readers of the Lake City Reporter, serving North Central area savers and investors for more than 30 years, and offering you the opportunity for a conversation or a consultation. No cost, no obligation. Pick up the phone and give a call, 386-755-9018. That's 755-9018, 755-9018 to reach the team from GulfCoast Financial Services. Have a conversation, address a few questions over the phone, or if merited and you'd like to take a detailed dive into your investments and retirement accounts and your plan for your financial future, that complimentary planning review and strategy session. 386-755-9018, 755-9018. If you'd like to set up that time, take advantage of what is really the valuable opportunity from this program. We provide information, education, important perspective on the financial world, but you have the ability to take that and have it applied to your specific situation, ladies and gentlemen, with John Kuykendall and his team there at GulfCoast Financial Services. 755-9018. That's 386-755-9018. John, let's continue this conversation on another episode of Financial Focus. We always appreciate your perspective, putting everything in the financial world in the magnifying glass.
Can't wait to do it.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more Financial Focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through GulfCoast Financial Services, Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. GulfCoast Financial Services, Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities, Inc. or Kovac Advisors, Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors, including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.